Man, I'm still here. I tell you what, it's a rough day coming in to work. You get embarrassed like that on national TV. I sort of feel like I owe the conference and all the other head coaches and programs an apology because that's not indicative of the type of program that we have, what we built here to go out and perform like that. And it just was a rough day, and I sort of, you could sort of see it coming. I tell the guys you could see it coming from a mile away based on some of the practices that we had been having. From a defensive standpoint, it was just too many solo tackles in practice. Guys not hustling to the football. You try to, as a defensive-minded coach, you punish them for not running to the football. You try to praise them when they do run, but I just question our effort at times, and I sort of, like I said, I could see it coming from my way. I thought our offense, to be honest with you, would have performed better, but it was just like I said, I tell the guys, man, we didn't get bit by the elephants, we got bit by the ants. It was just a whole lot of little bit of things that went wrong. When we look back at the film today as a team, they're going to see a lot of opportunities that we missed, a lot of small things that we did wrong. And like I said, the ants and mosquitoes killed us. It wasn't the elephant bites. It was, it looked like elephant bites, but when you go back and look at it, it's a lot of small things. But, like I say, we had some positive. One thing I can say, it was a great experience for our players. I'm proud of them. Like I say, as a coach and as a father, I tell them, everywhere we went, people were commenting to me and our staff about how well behaved and how mannerable the guys are. And as a coach, a lot of times you don't get that when your kids go places. But like I say, we knew it was going to be a long day when the Wire said they couldn't even get the game. So I'm like, man, it's just, I don't know, it just was something in the air once the game started, though.
What's the secret to erasing the game like that and just putting that one out of the memory? You just take the positives and
yeah, I talked to the coaching staff. We had a staff meeting this morning. I already talked to them about, definitely you have to find some of the positives. Some of the positives, when those guys look at that film, they should see the plays that we didn't make, where we may have had a open wide receiver and missed a throw. We got a wide receiver open and he may drop a pass. We got a chance to make a great run. The hole is there, and because guys not trusting their blocking, they try to bounce it outside. And like I say, you got to get 5 before you can get 50. And we got to find the positives in there. We're not going to dwell on it because we got a game on a short week. I'm looking at Texas Southern film right now, and I see a group of guys that love playing defense. And it's going to boil down to winning some one-on-one matchups. When they play as much man coverage as they do, you got to find somebody that's going to win a one-on-one matchup, and that's all football is. It's going to be man-on-man up front, our offensive line against their defensive line. It's going to be man-on-man, our running back blocking their linebackers. That's going to be coming a whole lot, and it's going to be man-on-man, our wide receivers against their DBs. And we got to win some one-on-one matchups if we want to be successful. So, like I say, we're going to find a positive in it. We're going to try not to dwell on the negative, and we're going to get ready for this next ball game because that's not what we are as a football program.
Questions for Coach Northern?
Hey, Coach, good morning. Charles Edmond from WPRL.
How you doing this morning, Charles?
Doing pretty good. This game with Texas Southern, is this a classic? Because I know in years past it's been a Reliant. Is it at Delmar this year?
Man, it's a funny situation because I listen to the radio stations around, and it's being labeled as a classic. They still saying label their classic on the radio. All I know is we playing at Delmar Stadium, which is it's bigger than our stadium on campus. The field is the same size as the field in Reliant, and we're gonna go over there and play. If it's a classic, it's a classic. All I know is it's a conference game, and we need to win this football game.
You know what happened? Was it a lack of sponsorship or something that caused it to be moved?
It's a whole lot of stuff, in my opinion. I think some of it was, and I may be overstepping my boundaries, but, it was Texas Southern's home game. They could do what they want with it. We could have played at Reliant. We could have moved the game to San Antonio. We could have played at one of the bigger high school stadiums, but that is their home game. They could tell us come play at their stadium on campus because it's their home game. So, wherever we play, like I say, the field is the same size. It's going to be Texas Southern versus Prairie View, and that's all we got to do. We just got to deal with it. I don't care where it's being played. We got to play the game. It's their choice, so they can do what they want with the game.
Coach, with all the talk of Texas Southern winning the championship, there's much talk about their defense. As you look at their defense, what made their defense so good last year?
They got good players and they coach well. I'm like I say, I'm sitting in my office looking at the film right now, and to me, I can look at the film and tell those guys love their coach by the way they play, how hard those guys are playing all the time. I see guys flying around, it's 3 and 4 hats to the ball on every play. I see defensive linemen running downfield 15, 20 yards trying to get back in on the tackle. Like I said, I see a lot of great athletes. And not only are they great athletes, but they're playing hard. And that's a lot of time the difference between a good team or a good defense and a not-so-good defense. Do they play hard all the time? Do they enjoy getting the football? And then when they get to the football, these guys got bad intentions when they get there.
Coach, lessons learned from yourself as a head coach, especially in a game like that on the national stage, lessons coming out of a game like that?
Man, it's sort of hard to say, to be honest with you, because I firmly believe that we prepared well for that game. Nothing took us by surprise. To me, when you get taken by surprise as a coach, that's a bad job of coaching. My thought process was we knew exactly what we were going to get. We knew we were going to get some zone read. We knew we were going to get a lot of screen passes. In my opinion, we just didn't play with passion on the defensive side of the ball. We didn't make plays on offense. And I thought we would have done a lot better on special teams. We didn't do good on that as well. So it was just a calamity of errors. You could just sort of see things happening. Guys didn't do the fundamental things that we taught. And I told them, it was everything that could have went wrong, went wrong. Their defense scored 14 points within a matter of maybe 3 or 4 minutes. But they played violent on defense. Like I say, if you look at those plays, it was 5 guys in yellow jerseys that were around the football at a lot of times when we had turnovers, maybe with the exception of the one interception right before the half. But as a coach, you just erase it from your memory and say, hey, we got to prepare harder, we got to prepare smarter. And the bottom line is guys have to make plays. When you look at it, we had a chance to get several stops in the backfield, and we just didn't finish the play. We had several guys wide open. We just didn't finish the play, and that's my biggest thing. Whatever it is, finish the play before you make the play. That's what I talk about all the time at practice. Finish the play before you make it. And we didn't finish the play before we made it.
Coach, finally, you talk about Texas Southern. They're obviously going to have a new quarterback, but they've got a pretty good 1-2 punch in the backfield. Talk about that.
Well, we know we got to stop the run. Like I say, I sort of know what we're going to be facing, but the bottom line is if we don't do a good job of tackling and stopping the run and putting those guys in third and long, it's going to be a long ball game. Because I know one thing, with that defense they have, I know Coach Ramsey is not going to mind bleeding that clock down to 5 seconds on the clock and run the ball on first down. Bleed it down again and run it again. Bleed it down again, run it again, and punt the football. Because they think they're going. In my opinion, I'm thinking that they're going to control or try to control the football game with running and mixing in some play action, pass here and there. But we got to stop the run. It's that simple. To me, if you let people run the ball on, you get demoralized as a defense. If we got to put 9, 10 guys in the box, if we got to leave some of those young DBs out there on the island by themselves, then that's what they have to. That's what we have to do, and those guys have to make plays. Like I say, it's gonna boil down on whose man makes plays. Like I say, you sort of throw coaching out the window. It's gonna be, am I better than you? Because it's gonna be, I think, a good rushing attack from them and a good defensive attack, and they're gonna try to say, hey, my guys are better than yours, and we gotta tell our guys, hey, some of you guys got to make a play and make them change the way that they're going to play.
Coach Northern, Chatterbox, KTSU Radio.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your play of your 2 quarterbacks. Are you expecting a quarterback change this week?
Well, I said all along the first 2 or 3 ball games I was going to play 2, possibly 3 quarterbacks all along, and we did that. I just didn't think that it would be under those circumstances. Had it even been a close ball game, Jerry Lovelock was going to play. DeAndre Smiley was going to play. So, it just so happened we got on the wrong end of a blowout. To be honest, I thought I was expecting a shootout. But, it's just like I say, we got on the wrong end of a blowout, and all those guys got a chance to play. We saw some good things from Lovelock. And we saw some bad things from Lovelock. Same thing with Jonathan Trost. But, we'll get in. We're going to evaluate the film. We're going to grade it out. and we may see 2 quarterbacks a game, we may see 3, but I know whoever's back there got to make some good decisions, and they got to make some good decisions in a hurry.
Well, Coach, speaking of evaluation, one of your main guys on that offensive line went down in Deco. How is he doing, Coach?
From what I understand, it may have just been cramps. He's been having some issue with cramping all training camp. He's got some other things going on, but I think that sort of leads to his cramping. But that's all it was. It wasn't a major injury. Like I say, we'll get him some Pedialyte and some pickle juice and Gatorade, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. But like I say, we really didn't have a big issue with injuries coming from that game. We did have some guys cramping. It was, to be honest with you, it was maybe 90 degrees, but the humidity was very high. We were expecting 106, 107, like we've been dealing with over here. But like I say, just that humidity and a lot of guys having to play a lot of plays, I think that sort of took a toll on a few guys.
And also your SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, Moses Ellis, he had to be assisted off the field. Was the same situation with him?
Yeah, just crap. Like I say, he played a lot of plays, had to play some special teams. But like I tell the guys, if you're a so-called starter on special teams, you're a starter on special teams before you are on defense. So you got one or two choices. Either you don't start on defense or you get in better shape. And I don't think his he played with great effort. It just, sometimes when you get a cramp, it's one funny move that caused that cramp to come in, and his just came at a bad time. But, I think he's in great shape. But like I say, sometimes when you play with great effort, which, he saved a touchdown from way across the field. He showed great effort. He's still our leader, but we got to find some other guys to step up